My guest today, Sybil Goldrich, discovered after having breast implants due to a double mastectomy in the late 80s the fact that breast implants had never been approved by the FDA. She went on to become a whistleblower up against corporate giants and an advocate for all women in the same situation. Thank you so much for being here today. What a pleasure.
A pleasure to see you too.
Well, I am honoured. Let me first just say, I cannot believe that you've sat on Oprah's couch and at Larry's desk, and now you're here on my set, KirstyTV.
I'm delighted to be here, and it was fun to be there too.
Just when I first heard your story, I thought, wow, does it sometimes seem surreal that you've lived this whole life?
Sometimes I think it never happened because when the FDA approved breast implants about 6 years ago, everybody had collective amnesia. They forgot all about the things that I told them and all the things that were brought to the public view. And they forgot about the fact that women were paid well over $6 billion in damages.
Yeah.
They still go on and get breast implants more than ever now.
So I've been talking to a lot of girlfriends about the fact that you're coming on to this show, and women get them for all different reasons. You know, some want to have a lift, some like yourself have a double mastectomy and want to feel normal. What do you tell them?
To the cancer patients, I suggest that they think very carefully because they're facing other issues besides cancer. I was 43 years old when I had the double mastectomies. I had no counseling at all, and it was just a routine. Oh, tell a woman she has breast cancer and she's going to have her breasts removed. We'll tell her she has implants so that she'll feel better about the whole process. So it was really not as sophisticated as we have it today.
So let's go back a bit though, because you're laying in a hospital bed about to have your breasts removed. I mean, as a woman, I can't even imagine what that must feel like. What was going through your head?
What was going through my head was I wanted to live. And the funny thing is that when they came to get me to take me to the operating room, Jimmy was in bed with me, holding me.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Poor Jimmy.
Yeah, he's a real prince. So they took me, and I came back, and they took one, and I waited one day, and then they took the other. And when I had to leave the hospital, which had been a cocoon for me, I felt safe there, I told the doctor I couldn't possibly look and that he had to leave the bandages on for as long as I wanted them to be on.
You didn't want to look?
I didn't. I was afraid to look. I just knew that this was such a change for me.
Yeah.
And because I was very large-breasted. Yeah. And finally, about 6 weeks after the surgery, when there was nobody home, I sat down in front of a mirror and I took these bandages that I no longer needed for probably 3 weeks. I took them off. I took a deep breath and I said, and this is where we begin. And that's what I did. And as far as women who are getting them for cosmetic reasons, I asked them to question whether a permanent placement of a fashion instrument is really what they're looking for. You know, you buy a purse, you can put it down on a table. You buy this and it's there forever. And it's not like Botox or any of those shots. The Botox kind of disappears after a while. Breast implants and their side effects are forever.
Yeah, and there's lots of side effects. I mean, that is the bottom line. When you were heading this, I mean, wasn't it one of the biggest civil lawsuits in the country at the time?
It was the largest class action in the history of the United States, and then came along tobacco and
all the others. So
at
the time, though, that was huge. And so there was something wrong.
Yes.
And they paid a lot of money to a lot of women to rectify this. So what was going wrong? What were all the side effects and symptoms that you were seeing in all of these women that you were working with and are still seeing today?
Well, it was exactly what they put in the package insert that goes along with the product. The problem is the package insert is inside the box, which they open in the operating room when you're asleep. And then you never find out that you can get lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma, silicone can migrate, breast implants move around. They have to be replaced within 10 years. There are so many pieces of information that women are not given and need to evaluate. They need to evaluate the cost. Now, here's the question. Do you want to spend the money, about $8,000 to put them in, about $12,000 to take them out and put them back in again. And the price has gone up and up and up. Do you want that, or you want a college education? Do you want that, or a down payment on a house? How about car payments? There are young college girls who have gone down the slippery slope to poverty because of breast implants.
Well, and I think that we put too much faith in doctors and the FDA, and we presume that if that's on the market, just like Botox is nowadays.
Botox is a little different. You know, with breast implants and doctors, it becomes what I call annuity medicine. They get money to put them in, and then when they go bad, they take them out, they get money. You put them back in, they get money. Because when you take them out, your breasts are never going to be as large as they were when you first started.
So you have to have them replaced.
So you have to have them replaced, and you get on this vicious cycle.
So what was the highest height of this whole journey for you?
I'm proud that my daughters appreciate what I did. And now my granddaughter, who just turned 13, has come to me and she said, "Grandma, I know what you did." And I'd like to give her the book that I wrote about what happened to me.
And what's the book called?
It's called A Whole Body, A Whole Life. And I tried to get that book published, but nobody believed my story. And so the agent I was working with said to me, "Sybil, turn it into an article. Give me 1,250 words and I'll see if I can get it published." And it was published in Ms. Magazine, and it blew the lid off the issue, and I got phone calls from every television show, and I had no book to sell. That's right. I appeared on Connie Chung's show, and I allowed a photograph of me with my ruptured implants to be shown.
Yep.
And after that, thousands of women went to their plastic surgeons the following day, and the plastic surgeons called it Connie Chung disease. Yes, they did.
Well, that must have felt pretty good, though.
Well, that really got a bang of a response.
Yeah.
And it just requires women talking to women and not talking to plastic surgeons first.
Yeah. So how did I match up to Oprah and Larry?
Right on target. Well researched, good questions, smart woman.
Thank you very much, Sybil. It's been such a pleasure having you here. I know that this information is invaluable for young women and all women out there. Thank you so much for being here. It was an absolute pleasure having you.
It was my pleasure entirely.
I know that if you're out there and you're considering breast augmentation, that you would have learned a lot from Sybil's story. I hope that you do your research and you really think about the risks and realise that inner beauty is what lasts a lifetime. I look forward to seeing you next time on KirstyTV.